All right. Going live. I see that someone is already online, and I'm doing broadcasts from YouTube and Instagram, so hope it works for everyone. I hope that you can hear me and see me well from both platforms. Okay. All right, just give me a moment. Live. And then, okay. All right, so now I'm live on both platforms, on Instagram and YouTube. And just please let me know how does it sound for you. If anyone can just type if there is any problem with the sound, then you can let me know. Otherwise, we would start. So just whoever can comment in YouTube and on Instagram as well. And if the connection is fine, then we will begin. And anytime that you join, please let me know where are you joining from, which country, because usually we have gatherings from around the world joining us live from different places. And that's why one of the reasons I really love to be connected through time, through different time zones and through different countries. We still can come back together. I know that some countries did lock down again. Malaysia, the country that I lived before, I know that some of you might be joining from Malaysia, so sending you lots of love and support during next round of lockdown. And for anyone else, whatever that you are going through in your journey right now, thank you so much for joining today, for sharing your presence, for sharing your energy. And when you are joining, you can just type your name, where you're joining from, and also just take a breath. Just take a moment to ground yourself, to feel your breathing, feel where you sit. And do one gentle breath of release, just naturally signing. And notice where you are right now in your body. Notice sensations. Just take a moment to ground yourself, to be present. And when you are ready, you can just open your eyes. So I'm Alsuka Shapova, and the reason why I decided to do this session, well, first of all, how to support yourself in moments of self-doubt and in moments of when you are emotionally overwhelmed. That's one of the most common questions that people ask me. So that's why I thought that, okay, instead of typing it so many times, maybe I'll just record it, and then I'll be able to send recording to people who need it. So that's the first reason. And the second reason, it's something that I'm working on with people, probably one of the most common topics that comes up in my holistic therapy. And one of the reasons, it's also because I'm working for myself with this sense of enoughness and these feelings associated with that through my life. So life gave me this gift to work on this issue for myself, and that's why I had to develop certain tools and practices, and now I can share it with other people. And last moment, I just had a little bit of a moment of realization, because I felt quite overwhelmed with the study that I was doing, and I was doing a bit of research, and in certain point I just felt that it's just too much. And suddenly all of these thoughts started to come up of oh, you won't be able to make it, you are not good enough, other people are doing so much better. I don't know if some of you feel related, that some of you have this type of moments. You can just put any emoji, say hi, because it's quite quite regular that I hear that people have these moments of self-doubt. And I had this one, and but the interesting part was that immediately I went on the couch and I just felt that I was doing something automatically. And in a few minutes, I felt a lot of relief, compassion, and my heart was just fulfilled with this sense of kindness and love. And I thought that, wow, this is something that few years or maybe like I just had a moment of realization that when I was a teenager or like around 11 years old, I had always this self-criticism going on in my mind. I used to walk a lot, and when I would walk from school home, I would have this reviewing all things that I could do wrong, and I was just evaluated, and I would just replay those scenes that even little detail could go wrong. So that's why for me it was a realization. It's like, wow, now it took me just a few moments automatically to kind of like help myself in this type of situation. And that's why I thought that, okay, I would like to share it with others too, because there is a certain process that wasn't natural for me since the beginning. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, the process, how I help myself and also people I work with, how to support yourself in moments of self-doubt and when you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. And it's very related to self-love and this feeling of wholeness, enoughness. And usually it's really easy to love yourself when you are in a state of, when you are doing something that you really like, when you're achieving things. The problem comes when we're experiencing something else, when we are not feeling good enough, when we feel probably sad or just deeply overwhelmed. That's when most of the people experience hard times accepting ourselves in those situations. That's why I want to specifically, from going of this general self-love topic to something more specific, tangible, because self-love is not something that is like, wow, cloudy for me or like angelic that we can experience all the time. Maybe there are certain moments, of course, when you do certain practices. But in this type of situations, when you feel low, you don't need this angelic love, something unrealistic, but maybe you just need a little bit of self-compassion. So that's what we're going to practice today, a certain process of self-inquiry. And before that, I would just share a little bit of theory with you so you understand what we're doing. And then we will do a practice. It will take us probably like a 10-15 minutes for a talk and another 15 minutes for a practice. And you can do something like that in those moments when you need it. Right now, if you are experiencing certain conditions like PTSD, depression, or other diagnoses, that probably when you need a deeper help, just be aware if something that becomes intense for you, certain words that are triggering you, or even during the practice, you can always stop. Also, just be aware, whatever is right for you, just allow yourself to follow it. You can stop anytime the practice as well. All right, so let's begin with more like a theoretical part. So in the first thing I wanted to bring up is when we are experiencing those moments of self-doubt. So let's say that usually there is a voice that comes up that starts chatting, right? If you can type also, or you can think of it right now, what usually is this voice that comes up when you're experiencing those moments of self-doubt? It's a really good first step to recognize, to be able to actually understand that, okay, right now I hear this voice and it's not helpful, and just becoming aware of what are those words that you're telling to yourself. And sometimes it's very nasty and let's say that really brings you down. So the first step would be just to hear these words and to ask yourself, is that true? Is that what you are feeling about yourself, is that actually true? Because maybe if you are saying to yourself, it's like, oh, you're not good enough, then you can ask, it's like, oh, what is that I'm not good enough at? Is it something specific, maybe like a certain skill that you don't feel good enough at? And that might be truth. Maybe let's say that if you are starting a new job or you're practicing a new skill, learning a new language, maybe it's true that you are just not good enough because you are starting, and then you can take specific actions for that. But the problem is that most of the time people come not with specific skill. Usually then if it's something concrete, then they can apply certain tactics. Usually it's all based on feeling. I feel not good enough. But not good enough in what? And then there is no specific answer. It's just based on this feeling. So in that case, you should understand that usually facts are not coming from the same part of the brain that is responsible for going on with normal life part. When you are logical, when you do things, that's the part that is more connected to prefrontal cortex. But the emotional part that is on the back end of our brain, on the limbic part, that stores certain emotional memories. And if it's based on feelings, that's most likely that you are dealing with not current situation, not what actually is going on with you right now at this moment, but it's all is replaying certain reactions from your past, from your childhood, or from past memories. So maybe you are in a situation with your boss or your colleagues, and your boss tells you something, and you feel not good enough, you feel maybe like certain fear or shame. So who is that person? Is it you, that normal going on with life professional? Or is it that you are becoming a child at that moment who is facing their mother or father who've been controlling? So just realizing that right now your brain is the part of the brain that is activated is not the same that is logical. It's not based on facts. So in that case, not good enough or these self-doubt thoughts, they would be just your perception of reality that you are looking through lengths of childhood memories or some other memories, and that has not much to do with the reality. So if you find yourself in this situation, then the next step would be to address what actually that I feel. Because not good enough, it's a perception, it's a story, narrative. What's the feeling? That's what you need to deal with. And the easiest way to understand what you feel is just to go back to your body. So in that moment, you just can separate your thoughts. Okay, this is the story that is going on right now, but what I actually feel while hearing this story. And then you can understand it from where is it in my body? What is that the tension? Where is what I feel? What sensations of it? Because emotion also is something that if we try to grasp it with our mind, it will try to analyze, oh, do I feel this or that? When you go back to your body, that becomes easier. And so right now you can just do it. Just take a moment and see what's happening for you right now. And you can easily understand that every emotion has certain energy pattern in your body. So even while you're listening, you can just see reactions in your body. So that would be your next, let's say, step in the self-inquiry, that you can just stay with yourself and notice what's happening in your body and identify that part of you that needs your attention. If it's some tension in your shoulders, or maybe certain anxiety, not a certain tingling sensation in your throat, or maybe heaviness in your heart or your belly, or maybe somewhere else, just notice what's that going on in your body, what sensations of it. And then you can ask this part, what help do you need right now? And just follow your instincts. In the practice, in a few minutes, you will experience that. But it could be as simple as just gentle touch. So maybe just gently touching or hugging, like wrapping up yourself and supporting yourself. Imagine if something like that, maybe some deep sadness will come up, or anger, or frustration, loneliness. What would it, how would you support a child if they would experience that? If you have children, that would be the easiest for you. You can just imagine your child, or you can imagine someone, the child of someone you know, or even you can imagine yourself, because that's most likely is coming from your childhood, some unintegrated emotionally charged memory. So you can also even feel like, is it familiar feeling to me? How far I could remember that? Is it like so familiar that I could remember myself even being a child? And then you can imagine this image of yourself and just support them. And supporting yourself in different levels as well, through the touch that we already discussed, and then also just telling words, maybe certain words that this child needs to hear. What is that they need to hear? Maybe it's just reassurance. I'm here for you. I'll be here for you. You are heard. You are seen. Or maybe just some words of love and compassion. I love you. So something that a loving parent would do to their child. And you can also just bring up some words that you would hear from someone who deeply loves you. Maybe it's a relative, or maybe it's a friend or your partner, or maybe it's even something higher figure like Buddha or Mother Mary, or even nature, something that you connect with, and who can see you through the eyes of this unconditional love and support. So just play around with that. I noticed that it's different for every person. So for some, it might be imagining yourself, that you can be at the same time the part of you that is connected to prefrontal cortex, that is adult self, that can support the child self, that is the part of you that is activated right now from the limbic part of the brain. So that's how you can support yourself, or even bringing some other images of other figures who loved you, even they are not alive maybe, but through them you experience this sense of love. So that would be another part, and definitely it's for your experimentation, for your practice. It's good to practice when you are in a, let's say, more regulated state of the nervous system, that you can even practice that just on daily basis. So when you are in a moment when you need this support, you already would have a habit of that you will know the steps, you will know what to do. So that's what I would recommend you to do, is just to start practicing this self-compassion every day, maybe, or at least sometime, maybe once a week. So then it will become a habit for you. And then you can just ask yourself, or this part of you that needs this attention, what is one thing that I can do for you? What is one act of self-care that I can do today? And let it be something small that you can do, and you can just implement it, so you can also implement it through actions. In that case, you combine cognitive, let's say, supporting yourself through self-talk, and also supporting yourself with gentle touch, and you can do certain actions. So it would be more holistic type of support. All right. Hi, Saraswati. Thank you for joining. And anyone who is joining just now, we will proceed with the practice. So just find some comfortable position. And okay, before we begin, just one more thing that I just came up, that in addition to all of these practices that you can do when you need support, just train your mind, train all of these levels. On the cognitive level, train your self-talk, find this supportive voice. And some studies show that from the second voice, if you talk, it might work even more effectively. Let's say, if I would talk to myself, I might say, Alsu, you're amazing. I'm here for you. You're doing great. You are enough. And you can find the voice that resonates with you the most. Maybe you can model voice of someone who loves you first, and then you can transform it into your voice. Or Even if it works for you, whatever works, just practice it more and more. And then on a physical level as well, just practice mindfulness. On physical level, practice like breath work or yoga, something physical, because our body also stores those emotionally charged memories, and it releases certain hormones all over again. So you can help your body to release it. And breath work, I find it one of the most effective tool, but there are also other tools like movements or certain energy practices. So find something that works for you. And mindfulness, awareness, also really, really helpful, because the moment when you understand that I'm in a moment that I'm doubting myself right now, that's already a step of separation. And then you can ask all of these questions. Then you can ask, okay, is it really true? What's actually the reality of that? Is it based on real facts, or is it based on feeling? And then you can proceed with all of these things. But the first moment is always realization, becoming aware. All right, so let's now begin with practice. I think that I can talk more and more, but we can meet another time. So now just find comfortable position and sit down and make yourself comfortable. Feel the ground under yourself. Feel the pressure of your buttocks where you sit. Feel the floor. Close your eyes and just start noticing your breath. Notice the pattern of your breathing right now. Just notice the temperature of your skin and gentle touch of air. Take a breath through your belly and sigh on exhale. Take one breath from your heart and sigh on exhale. And right now, you can bring up the moment when the last time that you felt or found yourself in a moment of self-doubt. And just notice what's happening in your body right now when you just think of it, even how your body responds to these words: self-doubt, not enoughness. Find the place in your body where you feel it the most, and just simply observe. With every inhale, just create a little bit more space. On exhale, just relax, allow whatever feeling to be. You might ask yourself, is it something that I am sad about? Or is it anger in me that's rising up? Or maybe it's shame. Or maybe it's fear. Or maybe something else. Because all of these self-doubts, these are stories. And even if you hear any of the story right now that you tell to yourself, just notice, how do you feel when you think these thoughts? What do you feel when you hear this voice? And just feel your sensations. Maybe even the most tiny sensations, almost invisible. Or maybe there is something tensed. Just notice your shoulders. Notice what's happening in your chest area. Notice what's happening in your belly. Become aware of your face. And just notice sensations, the most prominent ones. And look closer. If this part of you, this part of your body, could speak to you, what would it say? What support does it need from you? And allow yourself just to feel. You don't need to think or analyze. Right now, just to be with this sensation, with this feeling. And you might ask yourself, what needs my support right now? What part of me needs my attention? And you can imagine, and you can notice first if this is familiar feeling. Is it something that you feel regularly? How far back you can remember this feeling? And if it would be a child that feels this way right now, how would you support them? And whatever instinctively are coming to you, maybe a certain movement, maybe certain words, just say out loud or allow yourself to move the way your body needs right now. What support do you need? Maybe offering yourself gentle touch, supportive hands, maybe placing them on your heart, or maybe just offering yourself gentle hug, wrapping up yourself, just staying in this pose, maybe even rocking from side to side your body. Or maybe you need to express something, maybe you need to shake, whatever feels right. What words this part needs to hear right now. Maybe certain words of reassurance or support. I am here for you. You are important. You are enough the way you are. You will be okay. It will be okay. You are safe. You are safe right now. I love you. And anything else that this part of you needs to hear, just say it out loud. And imagine someone who is a loving person to you. Maybe a father figure, maybe a grandparents, maybe a friend or a relative or your partner. What would they say to you in this situation? And just receive their words of support. Or maybe there is a figure that you are connected with, maybe some spiritual figure like Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, or someone else. Maybe just nature, imagining sunshine, shining their light on you. Allowing yourself to receive, knowing that there is a sense of unconditional love and you are part of it. Open up your heart with the next breath. Just breathe, inhaling, creating more space in your heart. Receiving and exhale. Just soften your breath on exhalation. Inhale through your heart and exhale. And just check in with this part of you. What else do they need? What kind of action that you can take today to show self-care to yourself? Or is any other message for you there? And just notice sensations in your body. If there is any other part that needs attention, you can continue staying with that part that needs it now. Or otherwise, you can just gently do breath through your belly, placing your hands, gentle touch on your belly. And next breath, just place your hands on your chest, on your heart area. And with gentle, loving care, just offer a touch in your throat area. And on your face. And gently hug yourself, wrapping. And on next inhale, feel back your body, feel sensations right here, right now. Just think of what the action that you can do today, one small action of self-care. Remember that. And with full gratitude to yourself for doing this work, just do one breath as breath of relief. And you can gently open your eyes when you are ready. You can come back to this practice anytime when you need it. You can send this video to someone who might benefit, because there is a recording of that. And right now, if anyone was live during this video through YouTube or Instagram, please write down your comments and what's happening for you. If this was triggering in any sense, or maybe you need more time to stay with yourself, maybe you need to take a walk or something else that came up, please take your time. And if it's something that you need to work on, maybe on a deeper level, if it's some constant state, just find a therapist that will suit you to work on this, because it's definitely worth working on yourself, because it's one of the core foundation for all the rest, what we do in life. It all starts with how we feel inside. Thank you so much. Feel calm and tranquil, okay, very helpful. Thank you so much for being here. If any other people would like to share, please write, or if you have any questions before we conclude. Just take a moment to just become more grounded, feel ground and the floor, feel yourself. And thank you so much for watching. I wish you to have a wonderful day today. Stay compassionate and kind towards yourself, because when your cup is full, then you can share it with others. And that's why self-care to me is so important. Imagine if every person would come into the community, to their workspace, to their family, with a full heart, with a sense of self-compassion. How would you treat others in this way? How would you treat the world and nature? So that's why, to me, it's one of the most important. That's why it's one of the core priority. If you do this type of practices every day, taking at least 5 minutes to sit with yourself, to do meditation, breathing, or something that suits well for you, then I'm grateful to you, because you're making this world a better place, because you will be a better parent, you will be a better colleague for someone, and definitely a human being that takes care of nature. I believe that this love, it starts from our heart, And instead of looking for it outside, if we all start just a little bit, just 1% more, just 1% more every day, fulfilling our hearts from the inside, we will greatly benefit. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm really grateful. Thank you for all your comments. And if you have any questions later on, just write me on Instagram, personal message, and I will definitely just come back to you. Yes, it all starts from within. Thank you. Thank you all. And I will see you next time. Let's just complete with one full cleansing breath as breath of relief, with full gratitude to yourself, to each other, from joining from all over the world and to the rest of the world. Thank you. And bye-bye. Okay, now just finishing.